It had been made very clear up until this point that the cat was always acting in its own self-interest. If it was not interested in something or did not have a specific goal in mind, there was no way it was going to offer its help. It was neither an enemy nor an ally. At least, that's the way it was portrayed, but Episode 8 really showed how far the cat was willing to go in order to fulfill its own self-interest. And certainly became an enemy of Team RWBY and everyone from Remnant, because it wanted to get to Remnant by any means necessary, by whatever cost necessary, no matter how many had to be sacrificed in order to do it. The cat was only interested in satiating its own curiosity, and if we look back on the previous episodes of Volume 9, it becomes very clear how the cat was manipulating RWBY in order to take advantage of her. Now, we can't trust anything that the cat has said throughout the volume as being truthful, except maybe what he said in Episode 8 about, well, willing to reveal his true intentions and about getting to Remnant by any cost. But before that, nothing it said was the whole truth, most likely. There might be some truths hidden within them, but we also don't know how much the cat actually knew upon encountering Team RWBY. We don't know if the cat was actually aware that the gods of light and darkness also created Remnant until Team RWBY told them. Because although Jean was on the Ever After for years prior and had encountered the cat at the time of Alex and Lewis, we don't actually know if Jean revealed the entirety of the Lost Fable to the cat, and especially Alex and Lewis. Because if Jean did reveal the truth of the gods, and especially Salem, and either Alex or Lewis, whoever made it back to Remnant, took that information with them, that would change the past of Remnant, quite possibly. And I don't think Jean would willingly disclose that information, something that would alter the past of Remnant and, you know, alter the timeline and things like that. We do know that Jean opened up about Alex's story and the adventures that she had in the Ever After, as Jean was trying to keep her on that same path, but things were altered slightly, or at least things happened that weren't included in the story of the girl who fell through the world. But we don't actually know how much the cat knew at this point in time. The cat wanted to get to Remnant to satiate its own curiosity, but we don't know if that was because the cat was specifically after the gods of light and darkness, which was revealed in Episode 8, that its creators left to go and create you, as in the people on Remnant. So it does seem like the gods of light and darkness created the Ever After first and Remnant later, and that is the cat's overall goal, to learn why its creators abandoned it. But at the time of Alex and Lewis, it may have just been after seeing another world. The cat probably only learned of another world's existence with the arrival of Alex, Lewis, and Jean. We don't know if the cat interacted with Jean before Alex and Lewis arrived. I've said this before, but I think that Jean probably resided on that beach waiting for Team RWBY and didn't really venture out very far in the Ever After. So we don't know if Jean actually encountered the cat until Alex and Lewis arrived and Jean started helping them on their journey. There's just a lot of unknowns here, but what we do know for certainty is that at least one of Alex and Lewis made it back to Remnant, and the cat was not able to go with them, either by being invited along or by forcing itself into their body, as what happened at the end of Episode 8 between the cat and Neo. Now, this could be due to the cat actually trusting that Alex and Lewis would bring the cat along, or it could be due to Alex and Lewis not having an opening in their heart for the cat to take advantage of, for it to be able to force itself into that gap. The same with Jean. Jean has resided on the Ever After and has known of the cat for many years now, and the cat was never able to take advantage of him. The cat certainly manipulated him, put him down, and tried to wear down his heart in order to make him an appropriate vessel so that the cat could take advantage of Jean in the same way that the cat did to RWBY. However, Jean found a new purpose in the Ever After, to protect the Paper Pleasers. So the Paper Pleasers protected Jean and saved him in more ways than one. I already made a video about that previously, but it's even more apparent now how much of an effect and how much of a blessing the Paper Pleasers were for Jean. But RWBY, on the other hand, it did not work out the same way, as nearly every significant interaction that the cat has had with Team RWBY has been manipulative. Team RWBY first encountered the cat at the Crimson Castle. The eyes of the cat appeared the moment that RWBY said that she was human, The eyes appeared right behind her, and we don't know if the cat was actually following Team RWBY before that point. It might be possible that throughout the events of episode 2, that's when the cat first took interest in RWBY, because at Jinxie's auction, it was revealed that RWBY had little to no hope left, and she was in a despair upon seeing Penny's blade. That was something that affected her a lot, and she gave up Penny's blade. That first hole probably appearing in her heart, if not, just growing the hole that was already there from all the losses she had already experienced. Maybe it will be revealed in the last 2 episodes of Volume 9 that the cat has been following RWBY ever since they first arrived on the Ever After, but as of right now, all we know is that the cat first encountered them at the Crimson Keep, and heard RWBY say that she was human. And from then, the manipulation began, making it seem like the cat was an ally, especially after Team RWBY revealed that they knew of Alex's story. And the cat already knew how they were portrayed in Alex's story. The cat was portrayed as an ally, as Blake specifically said. So they decided to trust the cat, and it was their first conversation, as the cat started asking questions of Team RWBY, that Team RWBY revealed pretty much the entire history of Remnant. They revealed the truth of the gods, they revealed the truth of Salem, and everything that followed. The fall of Beacon, Haven, Atlas, etc. And so now, if the cat did not have the information before, which we just don't know, the cat certainly had all the information now. And it would have been at this point, upon learning that the gods of light and darkness also created Remnant, that the cat's motives would have changed drastically. Not only just wanting to get to Remnant for its own curiosity, but needing to get to Remnant to learn the answer of why its creators abandoned it. Especially now that it knows about the relics. Those 4 things that can be gathered together that would summon the creators so that the cat could confront them personally? Doesn't seem like the smartest idea to lay all of your cards out on the table. Team RWBY definitely made a mistake with that, but also the cat was probably asking so many questions that they were just exasperated and wanted to answer them all. And again, I want to emphasize that this was information that Alex and Lewis did not know. It's very unlikely that they were members of Ozpin's inner circle, that they had knowledge of the true history of Remnant before coming to the Ever After, and I don't know if Jean actually disclosed that information to them. So it's possible that this was the very first moment the cat was learning about it. Upon learning about it, though, the cat took the first opportunity to start digging away at RWBY's heart. The group's current goal was to get Blake, Yang, and Weiss back to their normal size. Now, knowing in episode 8 the kind of power that the cat actually has, it's possible that the cat could have reversed the effects of the Red Prince's spell that shrunk Blake, Yang, and Weiss, just with their own power. But instead left Blake, Yang, and Weiss small so that RWBY would be bearing that burden even more, that she would be the one having to protect all of them. And in this scenario, all the cat had to say was that you have a much bigger issue in hand than getting back to normal size. What was that witch's name again? Salim? Salem? How exactly are you going to defeat her now that Atlas is gone? Again, digging away at RWBY. And then the cat disappears immediately after saying that to RWBY, after putting those doubts in her mind. And then RWBY encounters the herbalist. And we know full well that the cat has encountered the herbalist before, maybe multiple times throughout its life on the Ever After, but at the very least over the course of Alex's story, because that's where Jean went with the cat, Alex, and Lewis. So the cat knew exactly what was going to happen at the herbalist, and the cat specifically left Team RWBY to encounter the herbalist. And I'm starting to think that the cat already knew that Herb had lost their way. That Herb, instead of helping Team RWBY, was actually going to hurt them. Or at least RWBY specifically, which was the cat's target. And perhaps the cat actually targeted Alex back during her story as well, because Alex changed after the herbalist in the same way as RWBY. So it might have been that the cat targeted Alex in the past, and it was Lewis that was able to escape, and Alex in turn was ascended. Because we did see Alex's dagger at the blacksmith, so it's certainly possible, if not actually likely, that Alex remained on the Ever After. And possibly could end up being Little, considering that Alice's name, Alice Liddell, from the Alice in Wonderland story, Alex Little, it kind of makes sense there, but that's a different video. For now, it seems like the cat intentionally put Team RWBY onto the course to meet Herb, and then jumped in at the last moment before RWBY gave in to despair and may have actually been ascended at that moment, because she was unsure of what she wanted to be and what her purpose was, of what she is. And the cat jumped in at that last moment before RWBY gave that answer. Given that the overall world and the way that the Ever After works, she may have been ascended at that point in time. All of those times that the cat said, "Oh, you're from Remnant, ascension won't happen to you," we can't believe that. We don't actually know how much the cat knows. Was the cat actually there at the tree when Alex and Lewis left? A simple trick or lie or cheat by Alex was enough to outsmart the cat? Given the power that the cat has, that seems unlikely. Whether the cat was aware of the gods' involvement in the creation of Remnant is unknown at this point, but I'm starting to think that the cat did in fact try to take advantage of Alex and Lewis. Alex stayed behind to hold the cat off while Lewis escaped through the tree, and then Alice willingly ascended to prevent the cat from getting her body and being able to escape to Remnant as well. That Alice actually sacrificed herself for Lewis. But this is also something we'll have to wait to see if it's revealed in the next 2 episodes. For now, the cat's manipulation continued of RWBY. By the time they get to the actual garden, the cat starts revealing the truth about the cycle of the Ever After. Team RWBY had just seen Herb fall into a pit, and so the cat tells them about Ascension, that no one actually dies in the Ever After, they are reborn and recreated, which might actually be one of the only truthful things that they've told Team RWBY throughout the entirety of the story. Upon getting to the market, though, and the arrival of the Jabberwocker, well, we've seen the power that the cat has. Quite possibly, the cat could have fended off the Jabberwockers on its own, but instead decided to sacrifice an Afterin. That poor bird that the cat manipulated, it sent directly into the fight with the Jabberwockers, intending to sacrifice it. And we can see the look on RWBY's face. Someone else died because of her. Someone else was sacrificed to save her. Team RWBY had told the cat everything about their story, the fall of Atlas and Beacon, and everyone that had died along the way. Penny, Pyrrha, and all of the other people that had been lost along their journey. And so the cat was adding to that, by yet again sacrificing someone for RWBY to live. Now, during episode 5, RWBY also had the encounter with the blacksmith, and this seems like an entity that the cat is actually unaware of. If the blacksmith is the actual spirit of the tree, the will of the tree, where people are sent to be reforged and remade, then the cat might not actually be aware of the blacksmith's existence, or that the tree has any will of its own, as the cat, I don't think, has ever actually ascended. Simply because the cat still has memory of its creators. When everyone else is ascended, they lose all of their memories. But the cat still has all of its memories, meaning that ascension has probably never been something that the cat goes through. The cat's purpose is to facilitate the cycle of the Ever After. As I've mentioned in a previous video, the cat and the blacksmith seem to be the entities that keep this cycle moving. The cat sends individuals who have lost their way to the tree, and the blacksmith, or the will of the tree, reforges them into something new. But this cycle is broken due to the cat's inherent curiosity. That need that we know now is to confront its own creators yet again. And in order to do so, upon Team RWBY encountering Jean, and Jean clearly seeing the cat as an enemy, the cat more openly started to manipulate Team RWBY, accusing them of tricking the cat like Alex and Lewis did, even though the terms of the agreement were laid out specifically and clearly at the beginning of their encounter. That Team RWBY wanted to go to the tree, and they have plenty of information. It's going to be a long walk to get there, so, we can answer all of the questions you'd like. There was no trickery involved there. Sure, they were using each other, the cat to get information, and Team RWBY to have a guide, but there was no trickery. And yet the cat specifically worded it so that Team RWBY would feel bad about their decision. They have no reason to, especially after episode 8 and the cat's true intentions being revealed, but the cat at that point knew that Jean would never allow it to stay around, so it left that last little seed of self-doubt in RWBY's mind. That maybe she's doing more harm than good. That in order to get home, in order to achieve her own goal, she's willing to hurt others. The cat was manipulating RWBY the entire time. But it was ultimately Neo that pushed her over the edge. And this is when the cat made its move, its true intentions being revealed, and also its true power at that it has enough power to blast Neo away. Or, later in the episode, also blasts Jean, Weiss, Blake, and Yang with a single shot. So the cat has a lot of power and ability. And although it wasn't able to take RWBY as a vessel, because RWBY ascended before the cat was able to complete its assimilation, likely similar to the encounter between the cat and Alex went, in the end the cat was able to assimilate with someone from Remnant, because after RWBY's ascension, Neo was left as a husk, an empty vessel for the cat to take hold of. And now, the cat is quite possibly the largest threat that Team RWBY has ever faced, including Salem herself. If the cat in Neo's body is able to get back to Remnant, the abilities that the cat possesses are something that was never meant to interact with Remnant. The ability to manipulate people's hearts and take away their free will is opposite to the basis of Remnant's creation. The people of Remnant were created with the ability to choose and the knowledge to act upon. The cat takes that away by infusing its own heart into others. So it's quite possible that Salem, considering she does have a hole left in her heart, maybe not the one left by Ozma's death, because when Ozma returned, Salem eventually turned against Ozma, but certainly by the death of Salem's children, there's a hole left in her heart. We see this in Volume 8, when Salem comes face to face with Oscar again, and she has those shadows dancing in her hand. It's a bit dark to see on screen, so you may have missed it, but Salem had actually conjured images of her 4 children running around in a circle and playing with one another. Salem remembers her children. There is that hole left in her heart, and it's very possible that the cat could take advantage of that, and Salem might even be made a puppet to the cat. And if the cat's able to get to Remnant, that seems like the likely scenario. The cat knows that Salem now has 2 relics, and the cat knows that the 4 relics brought together will resummon the gods, the very beings that the cat wants to confront. Team RWBY has given the cat all the information it needs to start its plan on Remnant, or rather just take over Salem's plan, take the relics from Salem, lay siege to Vacuo, get the Sword of Destruction there, and also, thanks to the cat's ability of being able to manipulate people's hearts, how do you think that's going to interact with Oscar? If the cat is able to interact with Oscar, manipulate him, I think the cat would be able to get the information from Ozpin of where and how the relic at Beacon Academy is hidden. If this cat makes it to Remnant through Neo's body, the battle is all but won. There needs to be some way to stop this cat. And who knows how things are going to play out. We'll have to see if the cat actually makes it back to Remnant, which, at this point, I struggle to see how they will be able to stop the cat unless RWBY is returned at the top of the tree where the cat is headed, and she is able to stop the cat before it is able to escape to Remnant. Who knows if that's actually going to be possible, and if the cat will be able to make it. Because things are definitely looking more and more dire with each and every episode of Volume 9. I feel like I was saying that for Volume 8, but now on a more personal level for each of our characters, and with the cat now revealed to have this kind of power, and its overall goals, things are looking more and more dire for the entirety of Remnant as well. The cat's manipulation has just been revealed in this last episode, but its manipulation is only just beginning if it is able to get to Remnant. Salem, Cinder, Oscar, Ozpin, anyone on Remnant is going to be vulnerable to this cat. Everyone on Remnant has likely lost someone to the Grim, and the cat is probably going to have opportunity to manipulate whoever they want. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on where you think this is all going, on the cat's manipulation throughout Volume 9 thus far, and how you think the cat actually interacted with Alex and Lewis. Do you think that the cat was actually willing to take over Alex's body to get back to Remnant, or do you think that at that time it just trusted that it would be able to go along with Alex and Lewis? Do you think it knew about the gods' involvement in the creation of Remnant? Do you think it knew about the relics at that point in time, that Jean would have revealed that information? Or do you think that it only learned it upon encountering Team RWBY? We don't know for sure yet, but I'm inclined to believe that the cat only learned that information upon Team RWBY's arrival and the encounter that Team RWBY had with the cat. Because I feel like with the power that the cat had, it would have been able to overpower Alex and Lewis and be able to get back in some way, shape, or form. But it was tricked or manipulated, and something happened which caused the cat to be a lot more forceful this time around, now that another opportunity has come along. There is one last thing I do want to mention at the end of this video that I would also like your opinion on. What do you think the purpose is of these little blue butterflies that we've seen throughout Volume 9 thus far? We saw one the first time as Team RWBY was journeying to the Crimson Keep, and we saw one again in the most recent episode as RWBY was venturing off on her own. The darkness was encroaching around her, and there was this glowing blue butterfly that was circling her. I'm starting to think that these butterflies are actually a guide to the cat to signify who has actually lost their way. That the butterfly was now circling RWBY because she had truly lost her way. She hadn't lost hope completely yet. Neo pushed her far over the edge on that, but these butterflies might be something that works alongside the cat to tell the cat where it's needed. We saw one outside the Crimson Keep where the Red Prince had lost their way. And we also saw one when Team RWBY escaped the Crimson Keep, possibly trying to guide the curious cat to the herbalist. And this might be how the cat knew that Herb had lost their way, and so let Team RWBY go to the herbalist, but arrived in time to prevent RWBY from fully ascending. Could be all part of the cat's manipulation, but it's something that I wanted to mention here at the end, and I'd like to get your thoughts on it as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, got you thinking a bit more about the events of Volume 9, not that you really needed it, because this last episode really threw a lot of things for a loop, but, you know, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and join the Guild of the Eternal Flame. If you're a fan of the series No Game, No Life, make sure to check out my second channel, The Daily Flugel. And if you want to see some games played live, Talk RWBY on Twitch, make sure to click the link in the description below and go and follow my Twitch channel. I stream every Tuesday and Saturday. With that, though, I'll see you guys in the next video.